Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start the session, The Power of Lazy Engineers. Please welcome Mr. Mitsuyuki Shiba.
Good afternoon. I have two daughters, 6 years old and 3 years old. They love to play with clay and make many creative products like this. But there is a problem. Flour-based clay easily becomes dry and hard because they always forget to close the cap of the clay case. My older daughter found a solution. It wasn't to close the cap, but to make clay by herself from flour and water. Now she can have new clay anytime she wants. She's lazy enough that she creates clay from scratch. So I guess she could become a good engineer someday. But maybe currently she wants to be a sushi chef because, as you know, she loves sushi. Actually, she chose this t-shirt. So cute, isn't it? So, how can lazy engineers be good engineers? It is because they don't like muda. Muda means waste. Lazy engineers always look for an easier way. That is a better way. At the same time, maybe I can say DevOps is a kind of fight against muda. What I mean is, the motivation of lazy engineers and DevOps is the same. That's why lazy engineers can be good engineers. But just being lazy is not enough. There is 3 vectors of laziness to follow. If you follow them, you can drive DevOps very well. Today, I'd like to talk about the 3 vectors of laziness. Please let me introduce myself briefly. I'm Mitsuyuki Shiba. Please call me Mits. I worked for Rakuten for more than 5 years, starting in 2010. As a Java web application engineer at the Osaka branch. I have been involved in developing and operating several new services, leading a small but powerful DevOps team. We have adopted Scrum, TDD, test-driven development, and domain-driven design, etc. And I love my daughters very much. Let's say someone comes running to your desk and says, "You've got to help me, please, just this one time." What will you do when you are asked to input 100 Excel data records to a web form? Maybe you can do it manually in an hour. However, because you are lazy, you may use Selenium and automate it. Even though it takes 2 hours to write the program. Is it okay to keep him waiting for 2 hours? It's no problem, because you know he will come again and ask you the same operation. In the operation world, maybe just this once means I'll be back. The first vector is technology. We can reduce a lot of muda with technology. It is based on automation and shikumi. Shikumi is a kind of practices or patterns. For example, I want to find small bugs just after I write code. So I like shikumi of TDD very much. Let's automate everything we can and create shikumi on it. Then we can focus on only human beings can do. The first vector is technology. This is very, very natural thing as an engineer, isn't it? In fact, many engineers have this vector in their mind. But only having this vector is not enough. There are two more important vectors. Even if you have a good engine, it would be muda if your car can't go in the right direction. Where should we head in terms of DevOps? It is product. The second vector is product. Has this ever happened to you? A feature which is a result of your own hard work is not used at all. Or the product you created was totally different from what the customers really needed. These kind of things are very, very muda, right? So looking at the product is really important for our lazier life. How do we look at the product? It is discovery and feedback. We never be able to expect everything in advance. Customers don't know what they really need, and engineers don't know the best way to realize it in advance. So we have to get feedback frequently. A project is a way of discovery, and many things will change on the way. So, for example, we can use user story mapping to discover what the customers really need. And DDD helps us to find a model and design. And Scrum gives us a time box to get quick feedback frequently from all the stakeholders. With discovery and feedback, we can look at the product. The second vector is product. Technology is an engine, and product is a handle. Both are really important to drive DevOps. And it is people to connect them. The third vector is people. In this vector, the key factors are courage and respect. We can communicate each other easily, and it is also very easy to miscommunicate. What is the cause of miscommunication? I guess it is a fear of failure. I'm afraid of making mistakes, so I can't ask anything. And try to read between lines and try to protect myself. But obviously, it's muda. It never brings us to a lazier world. The important thing is to have courage to show myself as I am, not to guess someone's mind and not to look away from problems. And if your team member asks you something with courage, you should accept it with respect. And you can solve the problem together. The atmosphere of respect will encourage us to have courage. As a result, we can make a community of trust. People is the third vector. Technology, product, and people are the key three vectors to drive DevOps. And it is very important to reduce muda with not only technology, but also product and people points of view. If you can look at those three vectors, you will be able to drive DevOps very well. Maybe you are thinking something like this. I understand, it seems nice, but it seems hard too. If I am good at product, but don't know technology well, do I have to study it to drive DevOps? Or if I am a tech guy and don't know, not so good at people area, do I have to work hard to improve that? It must be hard. Yes, you are right. But please don't worry. You don't need to do it. I'll explain. I have another story about my daughter. She doesn't like homework. Unfortunately, she has homework every day. So one day I said to her, do your homework. And she said, okay, I understand. I have to do my homework, so I will do it. Then the battle started inside her head. And finally, she cried and said, Dad, I know I have to do my homework, but I never want to do it. Listening to her, I learned a very important thing and said, I'm so sorry, my little girl. Okay, you don't need to do it today. And she said, really? Yes, okay. By the way, I'd like to study addition and subtraction. So could you teach me? I'll be the student. You'll be the teacher. And she was happy to start her class and said, hi, mates, listen to me carefully. Let's study arithmetic. And she easily answered all the questions to me, which were all from her homework, and she easily finished it. What she taught me by this experience was, it is not so easy to change one's mind. As we grow up, we became good at hiding and covering our feelings, but it doesn't mean we can change our mind easily. It's not so easy. So what I'd like to say is, you don't need to focus on your weak points, but instead, you can improve your strengths. So if you're a tech guy and not so good at people area, you don't need to focus on people area, but instead, you can improve your technology vector. So how do you drive DevOps? No problem. You have teammates, and you can help each other and make a good team, and the team will drive DevOps. And it is a lazy team. As an example, I'd like to introduce my team from Osaka branch. I am technical lead and good at technology and product. And Sandy is a Scrum master. He's technology oriented, and he's very good at making a nice atmosphere. And Art is a producer. She's very good at product and people area. And there are a few more good engineers. None of us is perfect, but we are helping each other, and the team is well-balanced, lazy team. It isn't only my team, but all the teams in Osaka branch are like that. In Osaka, there are more than 70 members and around 10 teams. We became a bigger organization recently, but we don't adopt hierarchy-style top-down management structure. We adopt the aggregation structure of small and self-organized teams. It's not the easiest way, but we chose it. The reason why we chose it was survival. We have to survive competition with many other companies. And our competitors aren't only outside, but also within the company. Rakuten is growing rapidly and expanding globally, so there are many branches and subsidiaries all over the world. And every branch is so nice and is our rival. We have to continue to show our value to survive. So we decided to keep changing and keep finding new ways. What I mean is, I can say Osaka branch is definitely a lazy branch. Osaka is a very nice place to work. So if you have any interest, please feel free to contact us. Okay, let me wrap up. Lazy engineers are good engineers because they don't like muda. And there are 3 vectors of laziness to follow: technology, product, and people. And it is very important to bring up each skill in good balance. But you don't need to do it alone. You have teammates, and you can help each other, and the team will be able to drive the DevOps. The world is changing so rapidly. The important thing to survive is to keep changing and keep finding new ways. Not to protect ourselves and not trapping ourselves in past experiences and doubting common sense. I believe it is the lazy engineers and the lazy teams who are able to drive the changes of the company and the world. So let's be lazier together. Thank you very much.